Hello everyone. Today I will be solving some further multiple choice questions on Porter's five forces model. I had discussed in one of my earlier lectures, downloaded here only, comments में डाल दूंगा उसका link, on what is Professor Michael Porter's five forces model and how does it affect different profit parameters. उस पे कुछ questions भी solve किए थे I think एक वीडियो में. आज कुछ और questions solve करता हूँ. नहीं, ये बीसीजी ग्रोथ शेयर का है. दिस इज आल्सो बीसीजी ग्रोथ शेयर. ओके. क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. Which industry factor does not contribute to competitive rivalry? Question is telling you that which of the following industry factor will not contribute to competitive rivalry. That means 3 out of the 4 factors will contribute to competitive rivalry. Option number 1, high fixed cost relative to variable cost. Okay. A firm's growth must come from winning other firms' customers. Okay. Price cutting, large advertising budgets, and frequent introduction of new products. Okay. High cost of customer switching supplier. देखो, पहली बात तो ये जब सब जो टॉपिक है ना, माइकल पोर्टर 5 forces मॉडल, बीसीजी मैट्रिक्स and SWOT analysis and so many other theory topics, इसमें डायरेक्टली आंसर तक पहुंचना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होता है बिकॉज मेनी ऑप्शंस लुक सिमिलर टू स्टूडेंट्स. तो पहले एलिमिनेट करने का कोशिश करो उन ऑप्शंस को जो पक्का गलत है. जनरली 4 में से 2 ऑप्शन तो एलिमिनेट हो ही जाते हैं अगर कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा है तो व्हाट इज द क्वेश्चन आस्किंग, विच इंडस्ट्री फैक्टर डज नॉट कंट्रीब्यूट टू कॉम्पिटिटिव राइवलरी. ऑप्शन बी, व्हेन आई सी, a firm's growth must come from winning other firms' customers. So they are telling me a firm can only grow when it takes away other firms' customer. यहाँ तो competitive rivalry होनी है. मेरा ग्रोथ तभी पॉसिबल है जब मैं अपने कॉम्पिटिटर का कस्टमर्स ले लूं. तो यहाँ तो competitive rivalry होगी, of course होगी. So B cannot be the answer. B is wrong. Definitely not the answer. C, price cutting, large advertising budgets, and frequent introduction of new products. Here also competitive rivalry will happen. Why? Because they are cutting prices of each products frequently. Price war is happening. Advertising budget is very high and frequently everybody is coming with new products. Again, competitive rivalry will be very high in such a market. So B and C cannot be the answer. I have option A, I have option D. Option A says high fixed cost relative to variable cost and option D says high cost of customer switching suppliers. मेरा ध्यान D की तरफ जा रहा है. Why? Because if there is high cost of customer switching suppliers, then they will not fight amongst each other. Because more or less customer का switching cost बहुत high है. Think about it like this. Today in this time it has changed. Earlier when they used to install Wi-Fi at home, they used to charge modem, security deposit and all so many charges. Or think even better, now numbers can be ported. Earlier numbers could not be ported, so many a time even if I was not happy with my SIM provider, I had to still continue. Why? Because number रखना था, number कई लोगों को दिया हुआ था. तो इस केस में जनरली कॉम्पिटिटिव राइवलरी इंडस्ट्री के बीच बढ़ता नहीं है. वाई? बिकॉज इट इज वेरी difficult for customers to switch. In this case, wherever they are, they generally remain happy. So this does not lead to competitive rivalry because customers will not be motivated to switch because switching cost is very high. The concurrent action of basic competitive forces as defined by Porter's model determines long-term profitability and competitive intensity of the industry. Entrance barriers that potential players must face to get into the industry, rivalry inside the industry, non-value adding activities that should be eliminated. See, here they are telling concurrent action means पांचों जब मिलकर एक साथ प्रभाव डालते हैं और एक्शन दे प्रूव, what happens? See, basically Professor Porter model talk about long-term profitability and competitive intensity of the industry only. That is what they are recommending. Entrance barrier that option B says is one of the forces. It is not all the five forces acting together. Same with C. It is one of the forces, rivalry inside the industry. D is irrelevant. Non-value adding activities, it's not part of Professor Porter's five forces model analysis. No. Yeah. मैं चुन चुनकर क्वेश्चन सिर्फ पोर्टर्स फाइव फोर्सेस मॉडल के कर रहा हूं बिकॉज दैट आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड इन वन ऑफ माय अर्लियर वीडियोस. Which factor most likely encourages entry into an existing market? So they are telling which of the factors will most likely encourage your entry into an existing market. Government subsidies for new investors. Okay. Low fixed exit cost. Knowledge of the industry with high investment in development. High product differentiation principally produced by trademark. See, first of all, if you look at option D, again मैंने कहा ना elimination approach choose करो. दो wrong option को पहले side करो. Of course गलती फिर भी हो सकता है, but chances बहुत कम हो जाएंगे. High product differentiation principally produced by trademarks. This will not encourage entry into a market. Why? Because customer loyalty होगा इसमें. Because customers view product as differentiated. So this is not likely to encourage you. And most of the products are also trademarks. So D cannot be the answer. B भी आंसर नहीं हो सकता because low fixed exit cost is generally backed by high entry barriers. So B also cannot be the answer. They will discourage entry and not encourage entry. आंसर या तो A है या C है. A says governmental subsidies for new investors. Okay. And C says knowledge of the industry with high investment and development. इट्स अ लिटिल कंफ्यूजिंग क्वेश्चन. मैं ए की तरफ जा रहा हूं, मैं उसका लॉजिक बता दे रहा हूं पहले. बिकॉज मुझे लग रहा है कि सी मेक्स सेंस दैट यू हैव नॉलेज ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री बट लॉट ऑफ मनी इज रिक्वायर्ड. सो आई मे हैव नॉलेज ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री बट इफ ह्यूज कैपिटल इज रिक्वायर्ड, that is not most likely to encourage me to enter into the industry. That is why I am going towards A. This word changes the entire question. ये जो लोग most word use कर देते हैं ना, they are not telling C is wrong in the question, but that is not most likely to encourage because high investment in development is required. So that is not most likely. But if government subsidy is there, of course entry barriers are reduced, competition will increase. So of course you may go into the industry more likely. Which condition does not increase the threat of new competitor entry into the industry? They are telling which of the following conditions will not increase the threat of new competitor entering in the industry. इनमें से कौन सा है जो नहीं increase करेगा? Means I have to look for odd one out. So 3 will increase. Strong brand identity. Existing firms do not enjoy the cost advantages of vertical integration. Low capital requirement and few proprietary product differences. See, first of all, option C, low capital requirement. If capital requirement is low, I am very likely to enter into that market. So that actually increases the threat of new competitor entry. That cannot be your answer. So C is wrong. It increases the threat. D also is wrong because if most of the products have no differences or little or no differences, that means they are substitutes for each other. Again, it increases the threat of entry into the industry. C and D cannot be your answer. Bacha A or B? I will say it is A. Why? Because if there is strong brand identity, that means customers are loyal towards a particular brand. In this market, even if you enter, it will be very difficult to establish a brand. Just say when we have fever, we want Dolo 650, right? शॉपकीपर बोलता रह जाएगा कि सर दिस इज सेम कॉम्पोजिशन. नो नो, आई वांट दैट ब्रांड डोलो 650. नहीं खा के लगता है कि नहीं नहीं बुखार इसीलिए नहीं गया, डोलो 650 नहीं खाया था. सो वेन एवर देयर इज स्ट्रॉन्ग ब्रांड आइडेंटिटी इन द मार्केट, जनरली entry for competitors is very difficult because customers are loyal. No, not this. BCG. BCG. Cost leadership. A company has developed and implemented a wireless charging feature into one of their flashlights. Means a company has developed and implemented something wireless charging feature into one of their flashlights. No other competitor in the marketplace currently offers this feature. Okay, unique product. So I've come with a unique product. Okay, this is also talking about differentiation, Porter strategy. It is not part of five forces model. कभी कभी क्वेश्चन पढ़ने के बाद समझ में आता है. No, strategic planning, no. What is question number 18 telling? Which factor increases the threat of entry into an industry? So they are telling which factor increases the threat of entry. Okay. Exit barriers are low. Okay. Economies of scale are significant. Okay. Capital requirements are high. ठीक है. An industry leader may retaliate against a new entrant. चलो एक एक करके पकड़ते हैं. An industry leader may retaliate against a new entrant. Now, this neither increases nor decreases the threat. So, what if somebody retaliates against me? I have to do business anyways. So, this cannot be your answer. Capital requirements are high. If lot of money is required, it does not increases the threat, it actually decreases the threat. So, no. Economies of scale are significant. Again, no. If economies of scale are significant, that means existing players are enjoying cost advantages. So, no. It should be exit barriers are low. Because if exit barriers are low, that means people can easily exit the industry. So, in this case, generally, threat of entry is increased in an industry. I think two, three more questions are remaining. No, this does not looks like the correct question. What is there in question number 20? A contingency budget. No. So इतने ही क्वेश्चन थे पोर्टर्स 5 forces मॉडल के जो मैंने आज डिस्कस किया उसमें. So if you are looking for any CMA lectures, everyone, you can message me. My number is 983-123-8847. And generally in my lectures, concepts will be fully discussed, and of course all the numericals will be solved in the question bank. कुछ मैं करूँगा, बाकी आप करेंगे. Thank you everyone. Have a good day.